Hello, hello, hello. Hey, what's up? So I'm just waiting for people to come online. We'll see what happens. Very impromptu. I just feel like doing a live right now. And yeah, we'll take it from there. Will anybody join me? I don't know. I'm just chatting away, waiting for people to join. Notification is out, but it's quite late. So we'll see what happens. Hey, Hamza, how are you? I hope everything is well. Let me know if you can hear me by saying, I can hear you. Yeah, once again, let me know if you can hear me by saying, I can hear you. And then, yo, yo, what's up? What's up? Oh, can you hear me? What is the time there? You are, hold on. Can you hear me? All right, let me know. Can you hear me? Put that out. Can you hear me? Hello. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. I'm just trying out a little new rigging here. We'll see how it goes. Finally caught you live. Yes. Okay. Good. Good. Yep. Can hear you. Good. It's clear, loud and clear. I hope. Uh, nice. Wash hands. What are you talking about? Good. 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 You can hear me. Thank you, Latasha. Thank you, everybody. Good. Good. So I think I would just get on. It's been a while since I've done a live stream, and so it's kind of cool. I'm just testing out a little rig here. Say it louder. What? Say it louder. How long does it take to finish? Okay, let's answer some questions here. How long does it take to finish your complete web developer course? Um, it depends on the individual. Um, Depends on the individual. Like you do the foundations, which is really the key to it all. Let's see, you could do the HTML in 4 or 5 days, maybe. You could do it quicker if you move fast. CSS is a big one. CSS is a big one. That might take a few weeks. JavaScript. It's hard to say. I've had people do the foundation courses in 45 days, 2 months. I've had people take longer than that. Yeah, 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 yeah. Good, good. So the video coming in pretty clear. I hope. I hope. Just had a beer. Cheers. Hey, cheers, Robert. Where are you guys from? Yeah, let me know where you guys are from, by the way. I'm just curious. Steve Randall. Thanks, Steph. You just got me out of an hour of mind-numbing Adobe Animate. Yeah, well, sometimes it's good to take a break. Is that a new mic? No, no, it's actually a very old mic. I've had this mic for like 15 years. It's an RE27 broadcast mic. Uh, does the foundation course cover pseudocode? I think I go over that. Yeah. My foundation courses teach much more than just the coding, by the way. Just to give you an idea, HTML, CSS, JavaScript alone, just those three courses have over 300 video lessons. 300 video lessons and over 1,000 quiz questions. So they're very comprehensive, very comprehensive. Greeting from Atlantis. Oh, geez. Man from under the sea. Ohio. Good. I am Toronto, Scarborough. Ah, that's cool. Cool. How am I going to pronounce it? Akaterina Zorbas. I would guess that's Greek. Let me know. Are you really 169 years old? Well, I'm actually older than that, but for my online dating profile, I have to lie about my age to seem a little bit younger. So, Il Perot, next door neighbor. Texas. I got to go to Texas. I actually have places in San Antonio I have to visit. Yeah, yeah, amongst other places. Anyway, yeah, what do we got here? EA Building. Yes, Caleb. He is one of those masons that lives in a pyramid and stays looking young forever. That's exactly what it is. I have special foods that I eat. And if you sleep upside down, it helps too. Same city as you. Very cool. Yeah, we're close to Outremont. Yeah, I used to live in Outremont. I got a place downtown now. Are pseudocode and media queries important when just starting in CSS? No, when you're just starting in CSS, what's most important that you understand the basic concepts, selectors, understanding the cascade, and the rules of the cascade. If you got to understand selectors, the concept of selectors, and the rules of the cascade in CSS, you've been in a good position. San Diego, wow, I heard it's beautiful there. See, I'm already jealous of Matthew. Yes, I am Greek. Yeah, I figured that much. Illinois, very good. One of my very first distributors actually is in Illinois. I've been dealing with them for years. StudioWeb representatives. What's a better opening a business or learning web dev? I would learn the basics of web dev, and then with those skills, you can look at opening a business. And doesn't necessarily have to be a business related to web development. It just gives you skill sets that you can leverage to help grow your business. Very important. Fariz Bugara, Algeria. Do you think web development helps local economy in an area where most transactions are done with cash? Ooh, that's interesting. But you can still use the website to uh, get eyeballs, get people to find you, right? And then you can meet and do your cash transactions. Just kind of like Craigslist or Kijiji in Canada. I think you like this type of food. Laugh out loud. I don't know. Bosnia. Oh, very cool. Frog legs. Is it snowing in Canada yet? Not in the city, and I don't think up north. Maybe way up north, but not around here. Ooh, it's getting dark here. Hold on, let me put on a light. There we go. Yeah. Steph, what do you think is the best way to promote my new web agency and attract new customers? Put up a website and then start reaching out to local. What you're going to find is word of mouth is the best type of promotion. Choi and Christina, I'm 45, looking to get into tech. What's the best way to go about it? I know a bit of HTML and CSS. Well, continue from that. Get to the point where you're comfortable with your HTML and your CSS. And then I would probably at 45, you may want to look at freelancing as an opportunity. And if you want to maximize your freelance options, I would definitely get into server-side coding. PHP, first choice, because just the market share. I'm not talking about technical efficiency here, because I think about whether you do PHP or JavaScript or Java, C#, Python, whatever, they're all very good depending on the circumstances. But in terms of jobs as a freelancer, PHP is king, maybe JavaScript second. Yeah, let's see what we got here. Okay, how many people are on board? 81, not bad. After finishing your web developer courses, would it be realistic for me to get started as a freelancer, or should I try finding a job? You can go into freelance. I know people have done that. It's not a big deal. My web developer courses are not there just to teach you code. They teach you how to be a coder. And what you do is you do my web developer course, and then you get my freelance course, which is like costs you about 2 beers. You have to buy me 2 beers. And it gives you the whole process, how to start a freelance course, how to acquire clients, how to develop a project. You got contract templates and time tracking templates. It's going to really teach you how to actually run a firm. Yeah, guys, 97 people on board. Not bad, considering I didn't do any announcements. Only 17 thumbs up. Come on, give me some thumbs up. I got to ask. Apparently, that's what you got to do when you're on YouTube. What do we got here? Vibe have Jane. I'm sure I pronounced that wrong. My apologies. 2 developers have same skill set, but one earns more. What extra strategy or something he is doing better than the other? Probably good communication skills. And a better reputation. I always talk about that. I say one of the most valuable assets you can have, especially these days, is reputation. Thanks for the likes, guys. I appreciate it. Make sure you go to Austin for the weekend, though. I intend to, actually. Yeah, I definitely want to. Choi, StudioWeb, I am 40. It helps me. Okay, good. You see a future in SQL. Well, of course, SQL is the language, the structured query language. It's a language of relational databases, which are the most popular database being used out there. It's a type of database. You have many vendors who provide SQL databases like Oracle, MySQL, SQL Server. It's huge. You can't go wrong. You don't necessarily need to become an SQL database expert, but know your way around. It's a great skill set to have. Again, thanks for the likes, guys. I appreciate that. So I'm a self-taught coder. Cool. Me too. One of the main concerns has always been adhering to so-called best practices. Can you offer any advice on the topic? Yeah, well, if you already know how to code, my stuff may be basic for you, but I teach best practices all the time. Uh, the fallback best practice position is kind of universal. In engineering, they call it the KISS principle, KISS, keep it simple, stupid. And that's especially true in software development. So you always should be striving to simplify your code. When I see an expert's code, an expert who writes code writes simple code. So I go into a code base and I see a code base that's really easy to understand, simple functions, simple objects, a nice simple architecture. That's a master developer. When I see very complex, convoluted code, I see junior developers or people who are rushed. So in terms of best practices, simple, simple, simple. Always strive for simplicity. If you do anything, you do that, you're going to be ahead of the game. Number two, your code should be self-describing. The code should tell a story without necessarily having to have tons of comments. So those are some tips right off the top of my head. Live K4 stream, that's insanely great. Okay, so it is coming in 4K, the stream. That's great. I hope the image is clear. It's a little dark. My lighting is not the best. It's getting darker and darker as we speak, so that's why. But you know what? I can turn up the gain. Hold on. All right, so I'm blasting the gain here in terms of the camera gain. So it's coming in clear, guys. It's coming in clear. Hamza, why don't you try for Hollywood? You got the looks. Thank you. Thanks, and crazy video quality, by the way. Cool, I appreciate that. Better be. I paid a lot for this camera. Yeah, I try networking, word of mouth. Yeah, for sure. There's no question. Reputation is huge. If you're going to do anything, you always try to improve. So I've been doing this video stuff for the last few years, and I'm just trying to always improve it. It's just my nature. You should be that way with your code. You should be that way with your application development. You should be that way with your business. You should be that way with your health. Always try to incrementally improve what it is you do. It will pay off in the end. Hello, Stefan. I've got an issue. The small restaurants, etc., in my area just don't want websites. They say Instagram, Facebook, etc., is enough for people. How to approach them? Well, I think there's a lot of opportunity out there. So if they're not interested, then maybe you could offer services related to social media. I'm not sure. There's ways to sell it, right? You can tell them they need to have their own spot on the web. You could expand them on services that our own website could provide. Yeah, I would have to do a video on that to lay out a strategy. Okay, what have we got here? Canada, Stefan, have you thought to smoke weed on a stream? Why not? I can. If people don't know, Canada legalized weed about 2 years ago, and the people who were against it were going, "Oh my God, it's going to be crazy." Nothing has happened. In fact, one of the government weed shops is literally, 30 seconds from my place. But I'm not a smoker. I don't like the state of inebriation. I like to keep my head, you know. Are you a Ruby fan? Oh, yeah, I love Ruby. It's fantastic. Robert Brennan. I'm doing a web dev course on Udemy looking to be a full stack, but wondering how in depth should I get on my HTML, CSS, JavaScript? What should I focus on? I already know Python fundamentals pretty well. It shouldn't be the languages themselves, but it's just your ability and your comfort to actually write code and build things. You should be able to build things. Hamza, advice for 20-year-olds. Um, Develop good habits of learning, good habits of health. Uh, Learn to have empathy for others, so you can get along with other people. The more you can help other people around you, the more people want to help you, which will just help with your career. Start learning to save and invest. You want to develop these habits. They have to become habitual, so you don't have to work at it. And if you start, especially 20 years old, woof, if you started now, like just learning how to save now and just start saving and investing now, you could retire quite young. Why freelancer at 45-year-old? Well, no, you could get a job at 45 year. I have friends of mine in their 50s who are still working as developers. It's just it's an opportunity that's there. But it's more open. Like at 45, unless you're highly skilled in some other area, you won't like get a job at probably a startup. Probably, depending on the startup, they usually want younger people. But you can get a job at many companies. There's no question. But again, I'm biased because I've always been a business oriented guy. I haven't had a job working for somebody since I was 18 years old or so. And I was a bouncer in a nightclub. Do you think that Blazor will become a thing? I don't know. I would have to look into it. I haven't looked at Blazor. Federico Sanua. Greetings from Italy. I hear Italy is beautiful. I am a junior developer and have two part-time jobs in two different companies, but I'm really finding it hard to handle both together. Would it better to have only one full-time job? Well, if you're having trouble handling the part-time job, then two part-time jobs, then I guess it might be, of course. There's advantages of two part-time jobs, I suppose, because you have connections in two different companies. Perhaps you're working on two different types of technologies. So there's a lot of opportunity there. If you don't like it, then go work. Maybe ask one of the companies, hey, I want to work full time, or maybe tell both of them, say, listen, I'm working two jobs now. It's great. I appreciate I'm working for you, but I want to work full time. Is there a possibility I can work full time? And ask both of them. See what they say. See what they say. Meanwhile, you're learning a lot, right? I'm assuming you're younger, you're junior, you're learning, or even if you're not younger, if you're junior, you're still learning. So take advantage. Here we go. Hey, Stefan, what do you think about finishing your Killer Sites courses and then jumping into learning Shopify to hop into the e-commerce train? Do you think it's growing with COVID? Yeah, anything distance is growing because of COVID. It was already growing quite a bit, but it just got supercharged with COVID. There's no question about that. Yeah, of course. Yeah, always do the basics, the fundamentals, and then you'll be able to approach Shopify and e-commerce so much more easily. So much more easily. Let's see what Screen Looker says. I live in Southwest United States. I am a React developer on my first job. Congratulations on the first job. It is fine to only make 50K salary because it's the first job. It helps me to hone my craft as a new dev, or am I selling it myself? Sure. It depends on what state you live in, of course, right? Cost of living in San Francisco is very different from Utah or, I don't know, maybe Tennessee. I don't know exactly where you are, or Ohio. But it's your first job, so no, it's fine. You're learning now. The salaries in the first few years as a developer start here, and they go like very quickly. You do a big, your salary will jump up quickly over the next 3 to 4 years. So no, the first year you're just learning, man. Don't worry, you're getting paid to learn. It's good. It's good. 45 here. PHP might be safe, but you may also want to check out your local market on LinkedIn. Yeah, for sure. 100%. Judd White is right. You got to check out your local market. You want to check out the job, whether it be on LinkedIn or Indeed. Check out the market. So I assume you want to get a job. Check out what they're looking for, what skill sets they're looking for. So you learn your foundations, and then you figure out what you want to do, and then you train accordingly. So if you find out that they're all doing React, then learn React. No big deal. All right, 139 people. How are we doing? 20 minutes live, not bad. Okay. Michael Levitt. What's responsible for more of your passive income, your business or your real estate or other investments? It's a mixture. The business is there. It's semi-passive, if you will. When you get into institutional business, B2B business as they call it, once you're in an institution, they typically automatically renew. So it becomes passive in a way. They just, every year, they say, okay, we have this much, and boom, and the contract renews. So it depends. I'm trying to diversify more and more. Well, not I'm trying. I am diversifying more and more and more. The more diversified you are, the better off you are. No question. I'll give you an example. With COVID, I went to see my dentist recently, and he was telling me one of his clients was worth, before March, his client was worth $28 million. And when I saw my dentist 3 weeks ago, his COVID is now worth $0. He lost everything because all his wealth was concentrated in commercial real estate, and he was over leveraged, and he just got wiped out. So you always want to spread yourself out in terms of investments, right? It's just a wise thing to do. It's just a wise thing to do. How much is beer? Depends on the beer. What else do we got here? Just from watching your Java 15 video, and boom, the Stone Age Coder live streams. Yes, the Stone Age Coder lives. What else we got? Yeah. It's all the Botox. Tons of Botox. Stef, I'm a self-taught coder working on my own projects and have no college education. Don't worry. Apple doesn't care. Google doesn't care. And many other, Elon Musk doesn't care. So don't worry about it. I don't care. Is it still possible to get a job program, or should I just stick to freelance? I code PHP, JavaScript, C#. No, experience is more important than anything. Like Elon Musk famously said, he doesn't care even if you have a high school degree. Now, it depends on the company, of course, but this need for a college education is diminishing now, especially in the technology field. Technology companies are much more experienced in what you can do, what your resume is, in terms of actual skills. That's why I say go out and write code, When I mentor my mentoring group, when I'm mentoring people, I say, this is what you got to do. You learn your foundations, you do the freelance course, you get 2 or 3 free B jobs as clients so you can develop some skills, and you build up your website, your portfolio website, and then from there you can decide whether to build a freelance business, get a job, start your own development project, your own business, perhaps as a SaaS provider. That's the process that I recommend. And I have some friends who've done that, and they are wildly successful. In fact, he's supposed to come on. He's looks like he's going to be one of the most successful startups in history. Pretty crazy, actually. Very proud of him. What do I need to be HTML email developer? Just do basic HTML. Do my HTML course, going to teach you what you need to know. Is Molson beer still the top beer in Canada? Probably is, but it's not my favorite. I'm a guy who likes craft beer. My friends at BAOA or BAOS podcast, good friends of mine, they do craft beer. I love craft beer. I'm an IPA guy. But I don't drink beer very often, maybe once every week or two. I'll have 1 or 2 beers, that's it. And then that's in the summer. In the winter, I may drink beer once every 2-3 months. Greetings from Brazil. Wow, cool. Greetings from Canada. Tony, HTML tables and inline CSS. Yeah, for email. Yeah. Um, would you ever encourage using Firebase? If it makes sense, why not? You know, I'm not a technology zealot. I'm not somebody who's like, you got to do this, you got to do that. It's all circumstantial. So when I say do PHP, it's in the context of freelancing, right? Or just speed of development for your own projects. When I say don't do Ruby, it's in context of this joke of mine. It depends on what you're doing. If you're gonna want to go work for very large organizations, it's not going to be PHP. It's probably going to be, especially if you're doing enterprise development, it's going to be Java or C Sharp, right? If you want to do game development, it's not going to be Ruby. It's probably going to be Python, C++, maybe C Sharp. So it depends on what you're doing. How competent were you as a developer when you were 25 years old? That's a good question. I was able to do commercial work at 25, I believe. Yeah. I'm trying to remember because I think at 25 I may have sold out of my first business or I was in the process of doing that. It's hard to say. It doesn't matter because even if you're a total noob at 25 or 35, within a few years you could be very competent. And within a few months you can start actually making money with code. What do we got here? Innerman Arts. I am currently going through a JavaScript course. Should I finish the course before building my own project or should I build some as I'm going through it? I know how it is. It's very tempting once you know a bit of coding to take that code and start putting it to action. I know. But you may find yourself, if you didn't complete the course, and you may find that you hit walls when you're, especially in the beginning when you're trying to build something, and then if you just did chapter 8 in the course, you would have learned what it is you needed to know. So it depends, a judgment call. Maybe you could do like a 20-80 split, spend 80% of your time on the JavaScript course, finishing it up, and the 20% building your project to keep you interested. Again, ultimately, you learn so much more just by building things. That's why I say you just get through your fundamentals. What are we? 181 people. All right. We're getting there. Give me a thumbs up, people, if you are joining. It helps with the streams and all that kind of stuff. It makes me feel good about myself because you give me a thumbs up, it gives me that dopamine hit. Okay, I got this one. What else we got here? Hey, Stef. In my work every day, I have contact with clients all the time. Be nice, smile, listen. And this kind of job is tiring. Yep, dealing with people can be tiring. Is PHP side job a good if I want something less stressful? Again, one of those universal principles. For me, when I was quite young, I started trying to identify something I called universal principles. These were, thanks for the thumbs up, guys, appreciate it. Universal principles are these concepts, these realities that are universal across all disciplines. So, remember I talked about diversification in terms of your financial stability. Well, here about your mental stability, having a diversity of clients, having many clients is very good because typically what's going to piss you off and cause you stress is one or two jerks in your client roster, right? Jerks everywhere. So most people are nice, but you can have some jerks. And if you have 20 clients and you got one or two jerk clients, you can fire them, right? Because you're diversified. You're not dependent on any particular individual or company for your income. You want to have a diversified stream of income. So if you're freelancing, having many small clients is better than having a few big clients. Let me say that again. Better to have many small clients than a few big clients because if you have to deal with annoying clients, if you have 20 and one or two of them annoying, you can say bye-bye, bye-bye, and you're fine because you got another 19 clients, right? You can lean on, or 10 clients, right? So diversification, I hope that helps. But remember, at the end of the day, when you're a software developer, you're basically you're providing a service, right? You're providing a service, and a lot of that is communication. Okay, we got the better now. Rob Burns. Okay, I'm glad everything's better. Uh, Guerra, gorilla. It's not gorilla. Anyway, which camera is that? This is the Canon cinema camera. It's a C300 Mark III. Just came out. It's got a crazy sensor. That's why, even though I have no lighting on me, it still is pretty good image, right? How are we doing for time here? 30 minutes. Wow, it passes by. So I'm going to be ending this pretty soon because I don't like to do too longer streams. What camera are you using? Yeah, I'll tell you. Write it down here. And the lighting. This is the worst possible lighting. C300 Mark III. I just put it in the chat. Who's this guy? Bad clown. I'm going to have to knock these guys out. How can I get... Oh, here we go. How can I get out tutorial how after having all the basics down? You got to go and build things, man. You got to go build. You got to take that that leap and just build things. My freelance course teaches you that, because I think the problem that people have to go from knowing code to just building things is they don't understand how to organize and kind of conceive of a project. You have to break it down. So what I suggest for web apps and even mobile, you start with screens. You just start with building the screens. So you have a basic concept, and then you build the screens. We need a login page. Create a login page. We need a client profile page. You put all the fields, all the form elements, client profile page. And you go on from there, and then it sort of comes together. And then you got to figure out what are the key functions of your application. What does it do? Does it calculate taxes? Does it launch a game? I don't know. And then you got to come up with the database. The database is usually reflected in all your views, all the input forms, right? So there you go. That's a very basic explanation. But in English, it is guerrilla. In Spanish, is guerrilla. Did you suffer from imposter syndrome at the beginning of your career? In all honesty, no. I have later on in other areas, perhaps, and it's very common, so don't worry about it. You get past it by doing things. But what happened to me when I was quite young, I was 18, 19 years old, I got a very bad blood disease. It almost killed me. And I was on heavy drugs, steroids for a year, in the hospital twice a week. I would wake up and my face would be all bruised up from just the pressure of the pillow. So when you face your mortality at a young age, then you become somebody who doesn't give a crap. So I would just say, I almost died. Let's try it out. See what happens, right? And so you don't have time for imposter syndrome when you're just doing your things, when you're focused. But yeah, if you have it, just get in there and do stuff, Just do stuff as you complete the next project, as you get the first paycheck and the second paycheck, as you get the new clients. Slowly, your imposter syndrome will diminish, So just, you change your mind not by intense. The way you change your mind is just by doing, right? If you want to feel confident, then act confident. It's proven in the science. It's going to be in my new book, ebook, Lizard Wizard. It'll be probably a series of videos. So yeah, just do that. Omar. What's Omar have to say? Can I get a job without a CS degree? Yes, I am learning right now Django, and I did Flutter before. I like Flutter. That's good. Django's good too, for sure. Just look around at the job listings. Look at the local job listings. Look at the local job listings. Which development podcast do you recommend? I don't know. I don't listen to them. Not that I have anything against them. I just don't have time. But I'm sure there's good ones out there. Frederico Sanua. I don't know if I pronounced that right. If you had to bet on it, do you think programming jobs will last another 30 years? Yeah. Or is AI going to make us obsolete and useless? Before development goes obsolete and useless, just about every other job will go obsolete and useless because of the complexity in development. Noobs believe that the key to coding is the code. No, the key to coding is architecture and problem solving, and it's very creative. In fact, the code is just the tools. It's the hammer and the nails of the process. So no. So I mention that because AI will be writing code soon and starting to write code, but we've had code completion for years now. It's just going to get better. But AI still has trouble driving a car, and that has to just go left or right and avoid hitting squirrels, right? Developing a system is very, 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 very complex. So don't worry about that. All right, let's say it was No Limit 71 says, what can I do if I'm 17 and want to become a good developer? Start writing code. You're so young. I'm pretty sure that every billionaire in the world would give you all their money in exchange for your age. So you're in a great position at 17. Just start writing code, take your time, make it a habit. Every day do 20 minutes. Just 20 minutes, even if you don't feel like it. Before you go play Apex or Fortnite, sit and write 20 minutes of code, right? And you do that every day and start developing healthy habits for your body and your mind. And start saving, even if you only make $50 a month. Take $1, save it every month, save it, save it, save it. It's about developing habits. It's like working out, and that's going to serve you huge. And later on in life, you'll thank me for it. Can you please keep this VOD available? There's really good nuggets in here, and I would love to review later. Please, thank you. The Dapper Foxtrot. Foxtrot is a dance. I used to do that dance when I was young, when I was 40 years old, and I used to do the Foxtrot on a regular basis. Yeah, for sure. I'll have it for you so you can take a look. Well, okay, 169 people, so some people left. 121 thumbs up, not bad. If you haven't thumbs up me, give me a thumbs up. Appreciate it. You got a blood disease? What was her name? It was a long time ago. I beat it through diet change, Chinese herbs, and all kinds of lifestyle change. What else? OpenCart versus Shopify versus WooCommerce. Couldn't say. I haven't used them. Stefan, how can I have the same knowledge that you? You just got to daily work. What I teach and what I preach is what I practice. I would constantly, I'm an autodidact. Autodidact is somebody who learns on their own. And it's a good skill to develop. You just got to start doing it a little bit every day. Understand that when you learn new things, whether it be new languages or new best practices or new ways to be healthier, new finance ideas, etc., you're leveling up your character. You're just building up your own self. Might as well. You do it in video games, so why don't you do it for yourself? Will AI become obsolete because of humans? Exactly. So should I have near-death experience, develop right mindset, going skydiving? There you go. Okay, here we go. Bill Ivan says, currently facing a situation, learning opportunity plus mentorship versus money at the beginning of my career, when the money is almost double. Whoa, yeah, that's a hard decision. I don't know how good the mentorship is. I don't know how good that mentorship is. You have to decide. Luis Alberto Overa. I'm doing an internship in manufacturing, but I want to tackle some tech problems without the help of devs or IT. There's none. How do I explain my work to superiors without sounding like a yerk? Nobody wants to sound like a yerk. So you want to pursue this tech problem without talking to your devs. It's out of personal interest, I suppose. I don't know. Just start doing it. And if you come up with solutions, then show it. You know. Greetings from Mexico, by the way. Fantastic. Thanks for letting me know. Greetings from Canada. Um, what do you think the future of web development will be when you are 300 years old? That's a good question. I don't know. Just a few years from now, I'll have to go into my time machine and find out what happens at that time. Question about PHP. What do you think of doing a CRM like website to start a SaaS business with good marketing? Good marketing. Well, yeah, you can have the best product in the world, but if you don't have good marketing, no good. Um, Lots of CRMs out there. You got to know the CRM market. You would have to build a CRM for a very specific niche. A very specific niche. That's the key to that whole thing. All right. So what do we got here? All right, we got 184. How are we doing? 40 minutes already. Wow, jeez. Thanks for answering my question. No problem. Just let us know how you do, eh? Follow through. You're 17. You got lots of opportunity ahead of you. So the most valuable thing that you have now is time. Don't waste it. Start learning every day. Start building every day. The sooner you do it, the higher you go. But it's 28 too late to start learning programming. Not even close. I know people who started in their 50s, so you'll be fine. It's quite young, 28. Would you put any level of importance on understanding how to work within Linux? Yes, of course. DevOps is all about that kind of stuff. Or is the industry just dominated by macOS and Windows? No. Most servers, web servers, are Linux-based, or Unix-based. So no. There's tremendous value understanding Linux operations. You don't necessarily have to become an expert, but at least know your way around, Hi, Stefan. To start learning, which one better, Java or Python? Python. Python. Java is a great language, but Python is a little bit more approachable. Yeah. What are your thoughts on MDM web dogs versus your courses? I don't know about MDM. Oh, are you talking about Microsoft stuff? My courses are very different. My courses are designed to teach you the infrastructure around code, not only how to code, but best practices, blah, 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 blah. And then once you got my foundation, then you can go off and do whatever you want, any specialization you want. It's like that old Christian proverb: give a man a fish, feed him for a day. Teach him how to fish, feed him for life. I'm kind of teaching you how to fish with the coding that I teach, so that you can just learn whatever you want. If you read some of the reviews, you type in StudioWeb Montreal, or just StudioWeb on Google, and you'll find all kinds of reviews on Google about my former students. They'll tell you how it worked out for them. All right, here we go. Eduardo Gus. Could you have some suggestions for a path that leads to creating augmented reality apps for teaching languages in terms of programming languages and other requirements you visualize? Thank you. That's an interesting question. Let's see. Augmented reality apps for teaching languages in terms of programming languages and other requirements you visualize. I don't know. I would use the augmented reality maybe here and there to engage the students more, make it more interesting perhaps. I use good visuals in my courses. I use jokes. I have lots of jokes in all my quizzing to make it fun. But yeah, that's off the top of my head. That's what I would think of. Yeah. How do I become a wisdom-filled dragon? Well, that's a secret. You're going to have to wait for my lizard wizard tome of knowledge. That's going to give you all the dragon wisdom you're going to need. Maybe even too much dragon wisdom. To start learning programming, which language is better, Java? I got that one. All right. Are developers basically the mentats of the world? I know mentats, but I forget the references. So if you can screen looker, you can tell me what that is. The main difference between Python and Java. Java is a strongly typed language, different use case. So Java is used largely in big enterprise. Python is used in AI and maybe system automation. Java is a very verbose language. It takes a lot more code to get something out with Java than it does with Python. At runtime, Java at runtime, R-U-N time, runtime, when it's running, Java code runs circles around Python. But when you're actually writing code, it takes much less code to get it done with Python. They both have their purposes. They both have their pros and cons. Any thoughts on AWS and other cloud technologies? Do I need to know programming language along with AWS? You don't need to know AWS unless somebody wants you to know AWS, but you should understand modern day cloud infrastructure, at least on a superficial level. That's the coolest stuff to come along in a long time in terms of development is the new server technology, the cloud-based technologies. It's fantastic stuff, fantastic stuff. Some of the stuff that you can get done with server tech now, cloud-based stuff and VPSs, because of how sophisticated and revolutionary these technologies are, it takes a lot of the sophistication or complexity rather, out of certain aspects of application development, which is a very good thing. You should know the basics. You should know what's available so you know when and if you need to leverage something. Again, you have to understand that there's a classification. I consider AWS or certain types of cloud technologies, whether it be Azure, Microsoft, etc. They are need-to-nerd technologies that you need to learn when you need to learn them, when you have a job that's available. But you should at least conceptually understand what they can do for you. Like, for example, something that freaked me out a couple of years ago when I first learned about this. Prior to advanced server technologies like AWS, when you were scaling your database, you would have to build this within your app to a great degree. You had to plan out how you're going to scale. Are you going to shard the database? Are you going to horizontally, vertically scale? Caching strategies or a combination of all these things, really. Now, with advanced servers, they got these, they take care of it automatically for you. It's unbelievable. They'll scale it for you, and the server will dynamically allocate resources for you based on your load. It's just crazy, crazy sophisticated. But again, a lot of young devs, you got a lot of young nerdlings, they pre-dragon skills. They believe that they're all concerned about scaling. Scaling is a problem that most people never have to contend with. So I wouldn't be too concerned about that. Looking for career opportunities after Butlerian jihad. How do you love past 100? 101? 169 years. You look younger, Steffer. Yeah, I know. After 150, you actually start looking younger. Every year past 150, you look older and older until you hit 150. And then after 150, you start actually, you're like Benjamin Button. You start reversing your age. Cosmo Afterlife 7-1. Why go skydiving for near-death experience? Too expensive. Just get in front of an AI driverless car. Yeah, stay away from any Teslas. You never know when it's going to sneak attack somebody. Stef, to start learning programming, which language is better? Java, Python, made difference. I think I answered that, yeah. Vladimir Kahoy says, hello, everybody. There we go. Now everybody has seen your hello. Abdul Majid Fahad, I hope I pronounced that right. I believe I did. I have learned a lot from you. Thank you very much. I am happy that I've been able to help. Thank you very much for watching my videos. Which one is the future, Vue.js or React? I think they're both going to be around. I think people will be surprised how Vue catches up to React. Will it surpass? I don't know. It depends what the development tracks are for both those libraries. But I think you're going to see Vue make some big headway. Let's see. All right. How we do it? 50 minutes. All right. I think we're going to close this off pretty soon. Of course, I said that a long time ago. Connor Mack. Hi, I'm from Ireland. I'm working in construction, starting to use Revit, excuse me, to Dynamo. But I should have learned Python first. I don't know what Revit is and Dynamo is, but if they're Python based, you have to learn the language. Learn the language. You're not helping yourself trying to skip ahead. Think about any skill set, whether it be music, whether it be boxing, software development, art design. It's all about the basics, all about the mastery of the basics. You know, that's what it is. When NBA basketball players, when they practice, they're just doing the basics over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Let's see what we got here. I used Eclipse IDE for 14 years. Want to move to Thea. Did you try that? I have not used Thea. In all honesty, I've never heard of it. Used Eclipse, and in Java, I used IntelliJ quite a bit. That was great, but I hear Eclipse very good now. But yeah, try it out. See if you like it. In terms of IDEs, which are integrated development environments, these are basically just really cool code editors that help you with your coding. A lot of it is personal choice. You know, some people like this, some people like that. Don't worry about it. Try it out. See if you like it. If it works for you, fantastic. I am a U.S. citizen in Peru studying programming. Oh, very cool. That's very interesting. Ray Rojas. Where in Peru? I actually been to Peru. I spent a little while in Iquitos. And then I went up to the Rio Putumayo on the border with Colombia. Finished 3 years. Do you think my education is worth something in the U.S.? I don't know. It depends on your institution. Depends on your institution. Again, I would be more inclined to just get some work experience. That's going to ensure everything for you. Is C# dying? I really doubt it. As long as Microsoft's around, C# not going to die. And Microsoft is, they're doing very good now. They're hitting it out of the park. Michael Levitt. All right. Done some martial arts in the past, karate, Wing Chun. Do you think 26 is too late to start boxing? Well, as a professional fighter, yeah. But to learn for a sport, why not? It's gonna really up your game too. If you get a good coach, and a good crew, and you do a lot of sparring, make sure they don't rip your head off, for sure. But I wouldn't become a professional fighter at 26. No. Especially if you're under heavyweight. Fighters start thinking about retiring in their mid-30s, right? Early 30s sometimes. Have you ever considered becoming a professor at college? Many, many years ago, there's opportunity for me to teach at a local university, but I did not do it. I was too busy with my own jobs. Main difference between Python and Java. As a beginner, I'm having trouble deciding. I think I answered that, Vitor. One or the other, I would just go with Python. But it doesn't really matter because you learn Python and you decide, I want to do Java. You will learn Java in a fraction of the time or vice versa. So it doesn't matter. I would just pick Python because it's just more approachable, I think. What's the market like for low-level programming duties, embedded systems, machinery, and such? Depends on where you are. Look at local job listings on LinkedIn. Look at local job listings on Indeed.com and other job sites and see what they say. Have you ever heard of Mike Myers' books? A Smarter Way to Learn JavaScript is an amazing book. I haven't heard of it, but that's cool. Hey, Stef, how's the job market in Canada for Java developers? It's very strong, I am sure. I did the C# is dying. I answered that one. Okay, here we go. I like programming. I was doing every day, but lately I had a job on the other major and stopped the habit. How to avoid depending on money, but I have. Sorry, maybe silly question. I'm 25 years old. I was doing every day, but lately I had a job on other major and stopped the habit. How to avoid depending on money, but okay. So if I understand your question, you are learning how to program every day, but you have another job that's has nothing to do with programming, which makes you money, and you're dependent on the money, so you don't have time to do the programming. Well, that goes back to what I was telling the young 17-year-old. I said, you got to develop habits of saving and diversification so you have more choice. And what I would do is I would just discipline yourself to do at least half an hour a day of programming, 20 minutes, even just 20 minutes a day. So you just keep pushing that ball forward. Hello. Lam Hong. Hello from Vietnam. Very cool. Hello. Stefan, do you think it's a good strategy developing modules and templates for lower popularity systems like Shopify, PrestaShop, Magneto, while waiting for customers for web projects? Well, you don't wait for customers. You go out there and you mine for customers. But if what I would do is I would look at the marketability of a module for each of those platforms. Why not? Maybe you might be able to develop something that actually is popular on those platforms. So I would kind of search where you might see an opportunity, and I would do that. Do you have any success with your dating app you worked on 100 years ago? I did, actually. It was actually growing, starting to grow pretty fast, but it was filled with all these swingers. And I didn't want to be the swinging coder, and it was stupid. I shouldn't have shut it down. I shut it down. But I had people who were paying, and it was growing, and I was just, I don't know, I freaked out. At that time, I guess I was in my 20s. At that time, it was like I was so interested in the code and the coding, but I was just building things like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. And that came up, and, I said, I'll do something else. And, and then, anyway. I probably shouldn't have shut it. It was starting to grow, It was making money. Thank you, Fariz. I appreciate that. Is it worth learning compilers for software engineering jobs? If you want to do it just for a learning exercise, it's a highly niche thing, Very, very less than 0.1% of developers actually need to write a compiler these days. You know what I mean? All hail Ruby, down with Mishuk. Indeed. The main difference between Java and C#. They're not very different. Well, I guess you're going to be working on the Java stack, and C# you're going to be working on with Microsoft products. How do you get your quality to look so clean? My quality to look so clean. Are you talking about the video feed? Oh, very expensive camera, and know how to use it. You know what? I'm going to show you something. I'm going to do one last thing before I shut off the stream. You got to give me a second? Hold on. Hold on. There we go. That's better. Hold on. Very professional production there. So I just took out a light. I got a light now, and I shined it on me. So how's the image look now? What mic are you using? I am using an RE27 Electro Voice. Very classic mic. Yeah, I don't have my camera set up to, it only focuses on my face right now. It is a classic broadcast mic. It's EVRE27. It's a good mic. It's a good mic because as I move back, the sound dissipates quite a bit. See, you can hear me, but it's much less. And I move close, and the sound is quite loud. This is good for rooms where you might have background noise, and so it cancels out that sound. So that's what this mic is all about. All right, what do we got here? I love Canada and like to move there in the future, but I know it's not that easy. You have to prove you have a certain job and earnings, but how you prove it if you're a freelancer on Upwork? That's interesting. See, I was fortunate. I live here, so I don't know what. Yeah, that's what I figured. I live here, so I don't. I know you would have to contact the Canadian government, the Canadian consulate, and ask them. Ask them, see what they say. They'll tell you. They're usually a pretty friendly bunch. Greetings from Australia. Of course, Dune, that's what I figured. In the book Dune, they got rid of computers, so in Dune, there are humans that are able to. Yeah, exactly. Yes, yeah, mentats, of course. Yes, yes, yes. I just watched the original Dune movie with Captain Picard a few months ago. Okay, we got that one. Lourdes M. Velandia Calderon. My prayer for you to live another 169 years. You're amazing, Stefan. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's the limit. If I do another 169, that's it. I'm out. What else do we got? Stefan, have you been exploring API marketplaces, sites that have a directory of APIs? What do you think about it? I have not. That's interesting. But that could be an opportunity for you there. You never know. You never know. What do you think of blockchain? Will be a good choice for freelancer job? I don't know. Blockchain is very specialized, right? It's a very specialized market. You'd have to look around, do a little market research. My instinct says very specialized, but maybe. But I think for every blockchain job, there's probably 5,000 PHP jobs, It's just a question of demand, Benjamin Button style, exactly. Okay. Okay, you were talking about database scaling, that it's automated once upon a time someone had to do it instead of an algorithm. Don't you think this is a principle of reducing programmer jobs? No, no. It's even today with frameworks or libraries like React and Vue and sophisticated web servers and languages like Python, they do a bunch of stuff that programmers used to have to do on their own before. Even HTML5 and CSS3 have a bunch of capabilities built in that coders used to have to do manually. It's not. It's good. It's good that these things exist. Trust me, you don't want to be doing a lot of this low-level work. Latisha Smith says, "Love it." I don't know what she loves, but thanks. I assume it's a stream. Hey, Steph, you are so funny in the way you making your videos the best, man. Thank you so much. Algeria News. I'm glad you find it entertaining. It's got to be fun, right? Hey, Stefan, can you explain why would anyone use Python when Go is out there? Well, Python's power is its huge ecosystem. When you look at a language, any technology, one of the things you got to consider is the ecosystem. Python doesn't run particularly fast, but it's got modules that do almost everything. I'm sure there's an order Domino's pizza module in Python. I wouldn't be surprised. That's part of its power, that it's like going to a buffet. The buffet may not have the best food, but it's got a whole variety of food. So you can try a little bit of this, 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 and it's good. That's Python's power. It's its huge ecosystem. That's really what it is. Same thing with WordPress. The WordPress code base is not exactly the prettiest thing that I've seen, but WordPress's power is that it's got a huge ecosystem, all the plugins and all the themes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you can't just look at the core tech. You have to look at the big picture, right? Will you buy? Wait, please answer my questions. Okay, how did I get that? Will you buy a house in Maine? Good question. He knows I love Maine. I love Maine. I would think about that actually. Like I'll just pop over to this. Can you guys hear me now? This is some video I took when I was in Maine. I think it was last year. It's my ASMR Maine video. It's pretty cool, huh? All right, I'll go back. All right, so yeah, Maine is fantastic. I remember getting out of the car and on the ocean. You're just getting out of the car. It's like it was like a wave of relaxation. It's a great place to just go chill. What we got here? Hussein Paul. What camera do you use, or what do you use to have such a great video quality? It's Blackmagic Lizard Wizard Power. That's what it does. No, it's actually a Canon C300 Mark III. Brand new camera that came out, and they use a new type of technology called DGO, which is mind-blowing. It even makes me look good. It's really hard to take bad video with this camera now. All right, Vilius. Oh, I'm not Vishnayokaz. I'm sorry, I messed up your name. Hi, Steph. When you did Kung Fu, how would you normally stretch? Depends on the school, right? Depends on the school. Wing Chun, the stretching wasn't, it was all stretching the shoulders and the hands, because that's what we did. When I did the White Crane, it was a lot deeper stretching because White Crane is a very dynamic style. If you're stretching, there's two types of stretching. There's warm-up stretching, so you just warm up the muscles and the tendons so you don't go too deep. Then you do your hard training, and then when you're hard and when you're very warm and loose, then you do the deep stretching to get more flexibility. That's how I would do it. If you want to get flexible, go do yoga. That's amazing. Robert Brennan is correct, sir. You are correct. Is Orlando Alvarez. Is wrestling and kickboxing a good combat stack? Yes, it is. Very good combat stack. Indeed, it is. Highly recommend. Highly recommend. Wrestling's great because you don't have to. The problem with judo, and to a lesser extent, I would argue, jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, is they rely on the gi. So if the guy has like a weak shirt, like I remember when I was a bouncer, you pull on the shirt and the shirt rips off pretty easily. Whereas wrestling, it's all about the grip. A lot of times they go for the wrist, and that's a good one if you're interested in that type of thing. Recommendations to learn DevOps. I recommend that you do learn at least basic DevOps. It's very cool. Where, I couldn't say. Many different choices, but if you know your foundations of code, you should be able to pick it up pretty easily. Hello from Earth. Hopefully soon I can start looking for a job. View. Cool. Yeah, Randy, I wish you the best of luck. Just keep at it. I'm sure one will come along at some point. Steph, when you get to San Diego, I'm buying you a craft beer. Fantastic. I'll hold you to that. Yeah, I love to go to San Diego. It's a great place. I have family, not in San Diego. They're near Los Angeles, and I typically would be visiting them in the winter, November-ish, December, but not this year, I'm afraid. Can I work only with HTML and CSS and JavaScript for freelance because I have no idea how? If you're doing freelance, you should learn some full stack, learn server side. It's going to open up many opportunities, many opportunities. I learned just a little bit of PHP or maybe Node.js, and then all of a sudden, whoosh, your opportunities as a freelancer will increase. Oh my God, it's over an hour. It's unbelievable. Okay. I'll answer a few more, then I'll go. Randy Ainsworth, what is your secret for living for so long and looking young? Lots of Botox. Lots of Botox, that's what I say. Okay, The Elder. Hey, Steph, today I've got a full-time job offer as a front-end developer. Congratulations! But I'm also attending college. Should I accept it? I'm not the most organized person. Okay. Is college free? Is this full-time job as a developer a good company, a good job? Are you going to be learning valuable skills at the new job? if could you go back to college in 6 months, a year from now, if the job didn't work out without hiccups? Do you want to go work? These are some of the questions I would ask. Depends where you live too. Can you tell me how to whistle? Yeah, I'm whistling because I have something in my mouth right now. My apologies. It's coming out soon. Can we put it out there that age is irrelevant when it comes to programming? It's about your passion, desire to do it. Yeah, you can get a job at almost any age, but it's you have to. Like if you're 69 years old, less likely you're not gonna get a job working for a startup, right? Because that's a hectic schedule. But you can get a job in other areas. So it depends on what you're looking for. You just got to position yourself correctly. But yes, if you just position yourself correctly, whatever your age, you can find work and do well. There's no question about it. Vitor Vidal says, and thank you, Stefan. Been watching your videos for a while. Good. Thank you. I'm glad I could help. James Musk, what is your best productivity hack? What is my best productivity hack? Have that discipline of doing at least 20 minutes a day of something. Yeah. All right, Chris McLeese. I'm coming from a C++ background and learning JS is driving me crazy. Yeah, I can understand that. How do you let go of looking at the memory consumption performance like without drinking? Yes. It's in case people don't know, when you're writing low-level code like C, C++, you have fine-tuned control over memory and resources on your computer. And so that's why they write all the gaming engines with C, C++. That's why they do a lot of IoT, which are little devices in C++, because the C++ is just so efficient. But when you go to JavaScript, that's all taken care of for you on the back end. So it's probably driving him nuts that he doesn't have control over that because it's not going to be as efficient as C++, that's for sure. But what you lack there in JavaScript, you gain in productivity, right? Luke says, new camera is nice. Glad. Yeah, it is. It's not bad, eh? Psh. See, you buy professional gear, you learn new frameworks to save time and to increase quality. That's it. So, though my other camera was a very high-end professional cinema camera, this camera is like an order of magnitude greater. It's first time I've seen this type of huge leap in years. Well, I've only been involved with cameras for a few years. But anyway, no, it's a huge leap. So as you can see, with even really basic lighting, because light is everything in videography, the image looks pretty bloody good. So that's good for me because I just want to put out stuff as quickly and as easily as possible. When will you release your drum beats? I'd love to. I got a few, but it's just time. It's just time. It looks like it's from your foxtrotting days. Exactly. You got it. Hold on. Are there freelancing platforms you like the most? No, I don't know. I don't have because I'm not a freelancer anymore. I haven't freelanced in a long time. Star Trek or Star Wars? Star Trek or Star Wars? Star Wars, I think, has really gone downhill recently. I heard the Mandalorian is supposed to be pretty good. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I guess overall Star Trek, especially the original Star Trek, is pretty funny. With the go watch the original Star Trek from the 1960s. It's on Netflix. Watch it in HD, and you can watch especially when they do the fights, and they bring in the stunt doubles, and it's clear that the stunt doubles are not the actual actors. Like you get these guys with bad wigs on. It's really obvious. Now, when they filmed these in the 60s, people had really bad TV, so they couldn't see. But now with HD, it's just like pretty funny to watch. Do you teach Shopify? No, I teach the foundations so that you can learn Shopify on your own very easily, very easily. Tips on getting hired on Upwork or freelancing jobs out there. Been trying for 2 months now and have no luck. Ooh, that's interesting. I would have to do a video. All right, how long? I've been on here an hour and 15 minutes. My mouth is starting to go dry. 171 people, not bad. We peaked at 180. I hope this has been a good broadcast for you guys. If you liked this, give me some thumbs up there if you like this. And now that my school season, we're still onboarding schools, but starting to slow down. I think I'm going to have much more time for new content. And yeah. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. People are asking me about my camera. I use a C300 Mark III now. All right. Oh, so many more questions. So you know what? I'm going to have to let it go because it's already an hour and 15 minutes. I hope you enjoyed the stream. If you like the stream, give me a thumbs up. That'd be cool. And I will be posting this on the YouTube channel so you can watch the replay if you want to watch this. All right. We'll talk soon, guys. Bye-bye. Well, you know what? I'll end off with the ASMR main video that people love.